Good morning, Copites. Happy Friday the 13th. I love Friday the 13th. A lot of people say it's an unlucky day, but I don't think it's unlucky at all. I think it's all superstition. I know a lot of people have had babies on Friday the 13th, so don't overthink it, guys. I know people think that bad things are going to happen today, but I don't think it will. But anyhow, so this article is about Arne Slot and some of his comments about other teams, not to, like, can't predict what they're going to do. Like, they'll watch loads of analysis, loads of videos about their opponents, but they never do what their analysts say, basically. So let's take a look. Liverpool's season under Arne Slot has been a real head-scratcher at times, especially when it comes to how opponents set up against us. In a fresh piece from The Athletic, dated today, Greg Evans dives into Slot's frustration after the FA Cup win over Barnsley last month. Slot said he's played 30 games and reckons 28 of his pre-match analysis meetings could be thrown in the bin because teams change tactics so drastically against Liverpool. Slot's point isn't that rivals should just roll over, it's that predicting lineups and styles have become way harder this year. In Europe, teams mostly stick to their usual shape, but in the Premier League they switch things up completely, often with success. Slot noted, in Europe, the teams we face are mainly the same as in their other games, whereas in the Premier League they completely change their style. See, what you've got to realise is teams are going to do that. There's that much data, and you know, Alice can find anything now, can't they, with AI and all sorts of stuff. So teams are going to change. They're not going to let you know what they're going to do. You know, you need to realise that it's the Premier League. It's not some farmers' league. Examples are everywhere. Burnley went strict 5-4-1 low block against us, sitting much deeper than they did against Spurs or United, where they pressed higher and showed more adventure. Fulham shocked with a 5-man defence in the 2-2 draw at Craven Cottage, dropping that extra man back compared to their flat back four versus City, Arsenal and Forest. Ditched passing out from the back and went long ball heavy under Sean Dyche, who admitted we changed the tactical style massively. We didn't pass out, we went long because they were going to press the life out of us. What he's got to realise, Arne Slot, is he's a very open manager, isn't he? And he gives a lot away. He'll say to people like, I don't like long balls, I don't like long blocks. So that says to other managers, let's do it. Do you know what I mean? I think Steven Gerrard said this before as well. Direct play has hurt us too much. Man United hit 75 long passes, 32 metres plus in their Anfield win, the third highest in any Premier League game this season. Crystal Palace and even Sunderland at Anfield had joy with similar tactics. Opta data shows 4 Liverpool games in the top 10 for most long balls attempted this season. But again, like I've just said, he gave that away early, didn't he? Sometimes he needs to keep his thoughts about what he thinks to himself. I think that's been his downfall this season. And when you're champions, people want to beat the champions, don't they? So it says here, Man United 75 versus Liverpool, 18 successful long balls. Sunderland 73, 24 successful. Crystal Palace 71, 23 successful. Bournemouth 70, 24 successful. Top overall, Burnley 79 versus Brentford. Brentford 77 versus Leeds. We've struggled to break down low blocks, looked vulnerable in transition to long balls, conceded late goals and lost key set-piece battles. Slot's been working on it, pushing centre-backs higher to squeeze space. winning more 1v1s, creating chances, but results haven't matched the XG edge in those games. Slot still does his homework. 3 pre-game meetings. Opponent analysis, set pieces, game plan, watching clips live or on repeat, even spotting details like Newcastle using fewer long balls versus City than versus us. Meetings end positive, focusing on our strengths, but he takes pride in overthinking fixed styles. He takes pride in outthinking fixed styles more than grinding down buses. Though he knows mastering both is key to turning this around. Like I say, I think he talks too much. I don't know if it's because he doesn't really understand the language or what, but he does need to keep his thoughts to himself sometimes. Stop giving your game plans away. Stop telling people what you do and don't like. I think that's got to be his downfall this season. People have worked out what he doesn't like, what he's struggling to adapt to, and things like that. You know, he's always talking about set pieces, long balls, low blocks. It's football. Get on with it. Stop moaning. Find a way around it. Keep your mouth shut and just talk about your players. Big game record remains solid. 4 points off Arsenal, beating Real Madrid again. First time in over 3 years to win at Inter's San Siro, and now the first to beat Sunderland at the Stadium of Light this season. Slot on low blocks versus attack-minded teams. That depends, because if you face low blocks, you have the ball a lot, so you assume you win the game. That would be normal for us if you compare the chances we create and the chances we concede. But because of multiple reasons, this season we're not able to. Mitigating factors: heavy injuries, squad overall, rivals getting stronger defensively, Slot's blunt, only Arsenal stuck in their usual shape most times. This ties into our gritty 1-0 win at Sunderland on February the 11th. Better pressing, set piece edge, Van Dijk winner. No late collapses. Can Slot find the formula to crack these adapted setups consistently? That's the big question. If we're salvaging top 4 for more or more. So, what do you think? Is Arne Slot right in what he's saying? He is right. You know, I'm not debating that he's not right, but it's his own fault in my opinion. But let me know what you think in the comments. Do you think that Arne Slot talks too much? Do you think he needs to keep a little bit more in-house? That's it for this video. Take it easy.